Yo, my peoples, what's up? Welcome to the One Stop Co-op Shop. Jason here, and today I have a playthrough of Oltree. This one is a purely cooperative game for 1 to 4 players in which you are playing characters in the medieval fantasy Oltree universe. You're going to be going around dealing with the various problems encountered by the denizens. They're going to help you get resources with which you are going to build up your fortification, tower defense style. Along the way, you're going to be dealing with an evolving threat that's going to come out of this Chronicle, which is a kind of storybook that you're going to play through as you go through the game. Oltree was designed by Antoine Bauza, the designer of Ghost Stories. Ghost Stories is one of my favorite games of all time. You can definitely see the mechanical bones of it, only instead of those monsters coming in assaulting your middle area, instead there are these story-based threats. And just like in Ghost Stories, you have a lot to do and a little bit of time to do it. Do you manage one of the individual threats around the board? Do you attend to the long-term goal presented by the story? Every turn, you are presented with that decision. I'm going to be playing solo as 2 characters, and I'm going to be playing a scenario called Scared from the Undead and Alive expansion. There's not much that's changed from a mechanical perspective over the base game, but this one will be a little bit spookier. So sit back, relax, enjoy the playthrough right after these announcements. This is the One Stop Co-op Shop, a gaming empire, and your stop for solo and cooperative gaming goodness. Beginning of the game, you're going to select some simple characters. I've selected Selena, the Preserver, and Berenice, the Builder. They have some special bonuses which we'll explore as the game goes on. They coordinate, though, with their health tracker. Not much health in this game. And once they cross their fatigue marker, they will not be able to do their profession. So I'm going to want to keep their health nice and high. And to that end, I have some bread over here that's going to help me out a little bit. It's inevitable, though. Eventually, they are going to take some damage. Once they reach the bottom, that is not over. It's not that kind of game. It just keeps on going and going. All that means is, as they roll dice, and this is the only die you're going to be rolling in the game, these are your effort dice for lots and lots of skill checks. So there are 2 success sides. That's great. There are 3 not success sides. That's not great. But there is 1 effort side where you will be able to get a success by sacrificing a health. All being at 0 means that you can't use this face. So keep your heroes nice and healthy. At the beginning of the game, you'll also set up your Chronicle and your assignment. The Chronicle is a small deck of cards that is going to evolve the story. I have selected Starved. A couple of undead are going to be lurking in here. I won't know what to do, especially if I'm playing this for the first time. So in terms of my long-term goals, that's what the assignment is for. So the assignment gives you a little bit of a flavor text, and it has to be a short chronicle to go with the length over here, which is also short. So basically, throughout the game is telling me I have to work on this. The more I complete of these, the easier time I will have at the very end of this chronicle. I'm going to try to get at least 2 by the time I hit the last round. And so here is my central fort. Here are my characters who start in the fort. And in 2 players, I start with 2 buildings, the barracks and the library. They have 2 stats to keep track of, the defense and also the prestige. These will go up and down, and they'll interact with the incident cards as I go out and uncover them. One of the lose conditions of the game is if either of those things hits 0, that is an instant loss to be avoided. But the higher I'm able to pump these up with various actions, then I get some bonuses. So I'm going to be looking to do that as one of the things in terms of taking care of the fort. In addition, there are other upgrades that I can build by gathering different resources. So this will fill out a little bit. And also, I mentioned those towers. Towers can be built with certain resources. They're going to go here, and they're going to interact with the land once I'm ready for them. In general, I mentioned those skill tests. That is also what you are building up. You'll see these 4 symbols. My characters start with basic proficiency in scholarship, soldiering, building, and traveling. And also because I have the barracks, I'm a little better at soldiering. At the library, I'm a little better at scholarship. As I build more buildings, I will get more specializations and I'll get some more prestige, etc. These symbols are collective. Every single time any character rolls, they'll be able to take advantage of whatever's been built as well as their own personal bonus. That's where the dice come in. One more thing to note about the assignment card, it will tell you which incident cards to use. So incident cards are 20 card decks that you will find and shuffle together to make a 40 card deck. Right here, this comprises a lot of the story. So this is 2 decks shuffled together, including this one, which is the expansion. So I'm going to get a little bit more spookiness and undead jumping at me. In general, the action is driven by this pawn on the enemy board. It's going to continue to trigger the different bad things, and I'll show those as they come up. It's going to be fired off by this die. Sometimes it'll stay still. Sometimes you'll go pretty far. But for the most part, you're going to kind of march through and do bad things and deal with them as they come out. And so it's going to move forward 1. I'm going to take an incident card. You'll see that the board has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for 8 different zones. We're going to go ahead and roll a trusty D8, and we are going to add this incident card to zone number 2. So all of the piles out here have 3 cards. When a card lands and makes a pile of 4, then there are no more incidents that can occur, and that's bad. When the game goes back to that incident phase and has to place a card, first I check to see if there are any of these markers out. Then I would lose a prestige for every single one that's out there. And as I said, that this is a lose condition, so the game is telling me right away, deal with that. And so let's do it. So we are going to go over here. Let's take off this incident marker. Generally, the incidents won't stick around. They're kind of one-shots. You do the story. There will be some kind of choice, and then we will move on. I probably should have said before that there's going to be some spoilage over here. It's a story-based game. Come on, people. Let's see what happens. You are disoriented, so you proceed cautiously. Though it's not enough to stop you from walking into a trap. A group of seeky kobolds surround you with evil sneers on their faces. So not every card is going to be a combat. Usually they'll give you some kind of choice, this or that, and then you would read the rest of the card. In this particular case, they're telling you, fight the goblins. No problem. So this won't be too bad for me. I have 1 soldier icon on the base, and also I had used the barracks for my 2-player bonus. In addition, with Selena, because she's at full health, she can reroll 1 of her profession die for each of her tests. There's no fancy symbol, so that just means that it is a binary success. I just need to get 1. So because I have the 2 symbols, I get to roll 2 die. And let's see if one of these turns into a success. Yes, I have 1 success. I am good to go. You are smarter than the kobolds and have no trouble chasing them off, taking their meager booty. This isn't meager booty. This is a gold. I love these things. Gold doesn't do too much that is special apart from the other resources, and there are 4 different other resources, but there are certain effects that are going to ask for gold. I have to spend gold in order to accomplish my overall goal, so getting a gold nice and early in the bank, really nice. Selena has done her 2 actions of the turn. She moved and then resolved an incident. She is done for the turn. If I had failed to roll, always discard the incident card, plus or bad, something happens that's going to move forward the story, so it wasn't too bad. On a future turn, I could acquire another provision with a rest action, and then use 2 provisions in order to get a bonus action. So it is now Berenice's turn. You always do the adversary panel first. There's a possibility that the pawn could stay and fire off another incident card, or skip entirely and go to this event deck, which are one-time events. Let's see what I get. We get a little bit more progress. Here is a problem card. Like I did with the incident cards, we go 1 to 8 with our die over here. This time we roll a 3, which is there. All of the 8 zones have areas where I can gather stuff. So I can gather a fire resource here, a leaf resource here, get more soldiers here to pump up my track. When I get a problem card, though, the problem card covers that up, and I can no longer use an action to gather that resource until I deal with the problem. In this particular case, Bedeviled. The community is being raided by a particularly vicious bugbear clan. No, not the bugbears. This means that I need to spend 2 actions, or I get 2 successes, actually, with a roll. So I'm going to want to wait a little bit until I can get some more dice, some more rerolls, etc. There are partial successes, but actions are very precious in this game. It is not a good use of actions just to kind of roll, and try to get successes. Pump yourself up first. Berenice is the builder, so let's go ahead and emphasize her strength and get stuff for building. We don't have anything to build with right now, so let's go ahead and get it. So we're going to go here. We're going to ignore the problems, or ignore the incidents, for now anyway. This would be a good tile to build. This would give me another die to deal with that problem and other things that come up. So I need a foxtail and a fire. My companion is at the fire, so let's go ahead here. Beseech the town. Kill a fox for me. The fox is slain, my lady. Put it in the tower. We need to build. Lest you think that feels a little bit grindy, there will be plenty of opportunities coming out of the incident deck in particular to get more resources and make exchanges. So I just want to be able to set myself up now with a steady little bit of resource and then complement that with whatever comes out of the decks. But for now, let's go ahead and trigger an event. These are all bad. But there are a variety of bad. I don't quite know what's coming when I trigger this. And I do trigger it. I don't stay at the problem deck, which is okay. Let's see what happens. Boom. Red tends to be up. You got the lightning bolt. That is a one-shot. A mysterious disease is afflicting residents of the fortress. A few fatalities have sadly been reported. So this is just a random roll. I don't have to track anything. And bad stuff could happen if I roll certain stuff. Let us see what happens. I roll a 2. I lose a fortification. Not great, not great. I am down to 2. If I get down to 1 and 0, I lose. Fortify the castle! Fortify the castle! Fortunately, I have plenty of options for that. I could build that building, the dungeon, which would require 2 of those iron and get me 3 fortification. Also, I could build the advanced type of tower, which would increase my fortification as well. So I got to figure out what I need to do. All right, so that was Selena's adversary activation. She is going to take a fire, beseech the area. Why is it fire a resource? I guess they give me torches, but there's no torch. Doesn't make any sense. Whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and resolve another incident. And I should probably have pointed this out. Every incident has a hint of what is to come. So this card didn't give me much. The first one was the fog lifts. I have no idea if that's going to be like a combat or anything. No, who knows? But something like this, the unusual stone, might indicate that a scholar is necessary and she has some book on her sheet. So I would be able to roll 2 dice if it is indeed a scholar power. At the top of a verdant hill, you take a well-deserved break at the foot of a monumental boulder. As you quench your thirst, you notice it has notches, probably carved by some primitive tool. I tried to guess. It didn't work out. It is not a scholar roll. It is a traveler roll, which is currently my weakest. I'm only rolling 1 die. In a multiplayer game, you don't know what the success or failure is, so you have to roll and then figure out on your own whether you want to push for that success or failure via a reroll. But let's do it. Selena gets a reroll of her die anyway. Nope, that is a failure. Let's go ahead and reroll that. That is a success if I spend a heart, which I probably will. So she is going to use a heart, which takes her out of being able to use her snazzy power. That's unfortunate. But next turn, I will likely rest. Rest will be able to get me 1 heart back and another provision, both of which are really good to have. And so now that I've succeeded, let's see what happens. You realize that the incisions are there to make the rock easier to climb. When you get to the top, you have a magnificent view of the surrounding area. Discard the next incident card in the region. Woohoo! So that gets me down from 2 cards. The haunted cabin has been discarded. And now I am down to 1. Once I get an empty pile and a tower that is the guardian of the thing, then I can put you see the symbol over there? I can put that token right there, and that does a couple of things. First of all, no incidents can appear. If I roll that, in this particular case, a 2, and an incident would appear there, nothing happens. And also, this is the token that I need. You see it matches up perfectly to be able to get that going. So I have to have towers up in order to be able to build these things. So the priority is towers and building my fort. And so now I roll the die to see if I move on to the Chronicle. It is possible that I could stay here. So let's see if I roll that circle. Did not roll a circle. Had I rolled it, I would have pulled an event one. Had I rolled the double, I would not be able to skip. So you have to proceed the Chronicle. That's what precedes the end game state. So also, if I'm here and I roll a circle, well, you can't just camp there. That would be devastating. You have to move along. So for the most part, the die does what it says it does, except for a couple of exceptions here in the Chronicle. But now I'm at the Chronicle, and that should give you a basic sense of how this game works mechanically. I think we're ready to really dive into the story. All right, back at the Chronicle space, let's see what the first page of Starved says. Strange creatures. Upon your arrival at the fortress, a group of trappers reported strange humanoids prowling the area that were seen devouring a corpse of freshly killed deer. Today, a traveling monk brings you an even more disturbing report. Necrophages have been attacking graves, disturbing the eternal rest of the dearly departed. This is something I get to do right now. Either send a party to monitor the area in question or map the reported locations on the region's maps. So I happen to be behind on fortifications right now, and I needed to figure out how to get myself back up there. The game gave it to me. Yay! And so I was at 2. Let's get myself to 4, and hopefully hit some incidents that take advantage of the fact that I am above my fortification baseline. So now it is time for Berenice to go before I go back to the fortress. Let's go ahead and clear out one more incident. These are always good to do whenever you're there. Moans in the mist. Your patrol takes you through grain fields one sunny morning. You stop to fill your lungs with the sweet-scented air when a funereal shriek shatters the spell. Ooh. You head towards the source of the sound with caution, parting the stalks with your sword. Hidden in the field, a zombie is trying to escape from the rock it is trapped under by crawling up the soil with its black nails. A golden glint on its gaunt chest catches your eye. Another traveler! Come on! That's the one thing I'm terrible at. This might be terrible. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. It is indeed terrible. All right. For the failure option, success would have gotten me a gold. Failure, you're not fast enough. The zombie grabs your wrist. There's a brief struggle to free yourself, and you leave, cursing him. Draw a Langer card. So this is a deck of cards that comes with the Tales of Undead expansion. These suck. So let's hopefully get a not very sucky one. Dizziness. Your senses are impaired and you have trouble adapting to your environment. This is, you see that test that I've been doing? Roll 1 fewer die and automatically fail if you can't get there. So this is now a part of Berenice's character. I can go to the place that allows me to heal up to full and get rid of it. Good thing I'm right next to it, so I might head over there sooner rather than later. But not for now. I had a plan. Let's go ahead and go to the center and use my 2 resources that I'd gathered over the course of that last turn and construct a forge. So the forge gets me an extra combat that helps me deal with that problem over there. Hopefully I get more combats along the way. There seems to be a lot of zombies here, so come on, let's get some combats going. Also, I get a prestige. Knowing the game a little bit, there are a lot of cards that give you rewards if you're above baseline. So I like to get both of these tracks over 3 so that I can take advantage of those bonuses. Come on, bonuses. That is the end of Berenice's turn. Top of the round for Selena. Selena only moves 1. We are going to take a mysterious tomb and place it on number 5. So I had just cleared that out. So a mysterious tomb puts me at 3, so I don't have to worry about that right now. Selena is below max health, which is terrible for her. She loses access to her cool power, which is to reroll a profession on a test. So we are going to rest, which lets us heal and take 1 provision. I now have 2 provisions. I can trade 2 provisions for a bonus action if I want. That bonus action I can repeat if I want. We're going to hold on to those for now. See what happens. She is still out here, and I like the idea of opening that up to try to get a tower there and lock that down. Let's see what the incident says. Fragments of the past. By pure accident, you run into your first love on the bank of a small pond. A naiad you once spent a delightful year enraptured with. Your heart of Twitter, you strike up a conversation. Wander again! At least I have the reroll. Let's see what happens. Nope, that's not that good. And once again, I have to use a heart. Or actually, I don't have to use a heart. Success will get me another fortification. Why is the Naiad helping my fortress? I have no idea. Failure is nothing. So I could decide if I want to not use the heart and just move on about my day. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. The actions are so valuable, and health for her especially is so valuable. If it was another character, I probably would dive in, but let's keep you with those rerolls. All right, I haven't had the pawn stay still yet. Let's see if this is the round. It's not the round. In fact, it's the exact opposite. We skip the problem area. We go straight to the event. The event is an ongoing, the sweltering heat. I'm recording this in July, the hottest month on planet Earth. In real life, let's see what's happening here. The sweltering heat makes even the slightest effort a challenge. Inside the fortress, things seem to be moving in slow motion. Each time a ranger loses a health, that's including when I sacrifice a health, they must lose one additional health. Ugh. So that is going to last as long as I don't pull another event card, so that's something I have to track along the way. So Berenice is going to get herself set up to do the full heal next turn. This turn, let's go ahead and solve some problems. An unusual stone. A rocky spire pierces the surrounding greenery. It seems to be of natural origin, but there's something about it that intrigues you. You make way around it to inspect it from all sides. So this is okay. Berenice happens to have a hammer on her character sheet so that I can roll 2 die. Let's see what comes out of that. Beautiful. That's what rolling more dice gives me, a success. You realize that the peak was used as a marker by an ancient civilization. An ingenious system of markings points to nearby trails, hazards, and caches. I get a choice of one of these 3 options. Discard the next incident card, make a move, or get a wild resource. That Horn of Plenty means I can get anything I want. And so let's go ahead and start working my way towards this. I could have my other character get that fire. I can use this wild to get this iron, I believe that is. And that would get me a tower that would lock down that other area and get me another fortification. So let's do it. 1 iron delivered to my fortress. All right, barring a standstill roll, I'm going to pull the next Chronicle. That is not a standstill roll. Let's read. Excavations. You track the necrophages near the desecrated cemetery. You follow them to the entrance to the catacombs, which leads down into the darkness. Immediately, and this is with Selena, so Selena does not get the extra hammer on her roll, but she does get the reroll. You must mark out the area to keep unwary people from accidentally venturing in. So then the danger is clearly indicated if I do that. Getting checks is good because that usually plays into the end scenario. Failure, you see how bad the Langer card is. So if there's a time to use these breads for rerolls, now is the time. All right, so this is Selena's roll for the Chronicle card. She didn't get anything. Let's see what her second roll is. That reroll is really saving my bacon. That one was a high stakes roll. I probably would have used my bread. All that does is allow me to save bread. The next ranger in turn order must sacrifice themselves and plunge into the darkness while others carry out their daily tasks. The ranger takes the Alone in the Dark card. Look at that. The private card for Berenice when it is her turn. All sorts of terrible things that happen to Berenice. I feel bad for her. On the next turn, after rolling the adversity die, the ranger will read the Alone in the Dark 1 card, and then assuming they'll have to do something with the Alone in the Dark 2 card after that. I'm just showing you the current state of the Chronicle. There I go down into the darkness. So as I indicated before, I'm going to take a fire as long as that is available. That allows me to build a tower over here. Another good thing to do is clear the incidents in corners. Ghost Story style. Good to kind of focus in your corners. If I can get rid of this pile, there's a lot of cards here, but we'll see. Then for 1 tower, I'd be able to put 2 shields down, which is excellent. All right, let's see what happens to me with the Chronicle. If I roll a standstill, I have to move forward. So the game tries to keep that Chronicle nice and steady. Oh, all right. So I probably want to skip this because I don't want too many stuff out there, but problems can be a little bit annoying. See what we got here. We got arms training. The villagers are being harassed by marauding monsters. The rangers must help them form a militia. That's not bad because I am pumped up on soldier. Okay, I'll take it. There are certain scenarios that depend on getting a lot of problem cards done. This is not one of them right now, so these problems might be hanging around for a while. All right, it is in space 1. Space 1 is all the way up here. This is the exchange. I could exchange one for another, including if I needed to get treasure, if it wasn't coming out of the incident cards. But I have one treasure. This is a resource light game, so I'm probably not going to miss that. You might not get done. So Berenice really wanted to get to the fortress so that we can nail down that construction, but she's alone in the dark. Your 2 regular actions for this turn will be shown on this card in the next one. You may not perform a bonus action on this turn. So I'm down in the catacombs, cannot interact with the map. You descend into the catacombs with uncertain footsteps. After a few meters of groping your way through the darkness, you hear worrisome grunts, grunts, grunts. You move closer to count the necrophages and try to understand what they're doing. So there's another one where the check marks tend to be higher stakes rolls. So if I don't nail this roll, then I will use a reroll. I have a book from my fortress, so I'm going to be rolling 2 die. All right, Berenice, what you got for me? I have a success. It's still sweltering hot, so I had to spend an extra heart, but I don't have to worry about that right now. Success. Which means I locate the group of ghouls without them spotting me. I count them and spy on them from the shadows. Not too shabby. And so that was one action. Let's see Alone in the Dark 2 for my next action. You have completed your assignment, and you don't like the idea of being trapped underground. You try to find a way out of this morbid underground labyrinth as quickly as possible. No wonder, no! I roll 1 less die. Wow, this game is nailing me, which means an automatic failure. Good thing I got those 2 check marks. Failure. You wander around in the darkness for a long time. When you finally make it back to the surface, you come out through another access that somehow leaves you feeling deeply disturbed. So let's see what I get. Stuttering. You have difficulty expressing yourself clearly. It is hard for you to give orders or share your opinion. You cannot use a regular action to build a pair. Oh no. She's the builder. What am I going to do? So the wording is very specific. I can't use a regular action. She gets a bonus action, so I'm probably going to use my bonus actions on that. Let's see if that ends up being really annoying. And just in case you're wondering, that action only lets me get rid of 1 Langer card at a time. So I am stuck, burdened with whatever is going on in my deep, dark psyche. Back to Selena turn. Hopefully the adversary board works out for me a little bit. Worked out for me a little bit. We get rid of this heat card. Thank goodness. All right. Bugbear Raid. The neighboring bugbear clans have grown bold and test the fortress's defenses. If my fortification is 3 or less, I lose a heart. Or all rangers lose a heart, but that's why I focused on that. Having played this game before, I kind of know what the game wants me to do, kind of setting things up so that I'm as guarded from the different effects as possible. So that helped me. All right, finally, I get to use a combat roll. I roll 3 dice, and her special power is if these all miss, I can reroll 1 of them. So let's see if I can knock all these off. Let's re-roll this 1 die and see if I can make at least 1 success. I do not. That was completely pathetic. So I'm actually going to forswear that because I do not want to lose the heart. So I want to keep that in case I need to roll again for this card, which is a haunted cabin. The people of the forest avoid this fisherman's hut like the plague. You're in the area and decide to look into it, out of sheer curiosity rather than concern. The door lets out an ominous squeal when you place your hand on the knob. I have a choice. I can either open a door or continue on my way. I'm rolling 3 dice for my combat. I have no idea if this one takes combat, but I am ready if it does. Let's do it. You open the door. Inside it's rather tidy. It's actually just a storage depot. Wow, very nice. The owner spread a rumor that it was haunted to keep people away. Not everything in this game is bad. Let's go ahead and roll a d8. On a 1, I get a iron. So another iron in case I want to build a tower at a later point. Fantastic. All right, now I am most likely to get a Chronicle on this roll. I do. And just so you know, it is not that much time. So I need to get a move on and build some towers and fortifications and do all that good stuff. The catacombs disgorge you into the open air, just a few stones throw from the fortress. It will be hard for its occupants to sleep soundly knowing that a band of ghouls is prowling in the shadows right beneath their windows. So Berenice went down, found all the ghouls down there, and now I am informing whoever is in the keep. Let's see what happens. Do I increase the patrols at the expense of sleep or restrict access to the fortress in order to protect everyone? So I'm supposed to make this decision without seeing the rewards. At the expense of sleep sounds bad, so let's restrict access to the fortress to protect everybody. Place 1X on the community action for the reason designated by the die. The action is no longer available to the end of the game. Remove 2 incident cards from this region. Okay. Which area am I knocking out? It is number 5, which is not bad at all. So let's go ahead and knock that out. Take out 2 of these incident cards. I don't have to worry about them. So now I can't get any fur for the rest of the game. So just have to keep that in mind for the town defenses. Thematically, this is where all the people are now because there is a burbling up of ghosts and ghouls and goblins and all sorts of crap down there. Berenice is a glutton for punishment, so she is going to dive further into the wherever the catacombs are and encounter a foul stench. The sweet scent of vegetation gives way to an acrid reek. You slow down the pace of your steed, sword at the ready. Below, the heavy rains have unearthed an ossuary. The decomposing corpses are exposed to the air, and buzzards are circling above it. My choice. I can cover the bodies or inform the fortress. Now, since this is the scenario, chances are if I cover the bodies, some of them will wake up and start to snap at me. I don't think I'm ready for that. So let's go ahead and inform the fortress. You return to the fortress where you dispatch a group of volunteers to deal with the situation. Immediate action. You must go to the fortress. Hey, fantastic. And I fortify the fortress. I'm letting them know what's going on. That was pure good. And so that is a free action. So that was one action to take care of that incident card. I am now here. I can't use a regular action to build because of my Langer card, but I can use a bonus action right there. First of all, let's give myself credit for that increased fortification off of the card. We're going to build our fortification, which gets us up another one. And now that we have cleared that and there's a fort there, I have my first leaf shield. As a reminder of what the leaf shields do, first of all, if I roll a number 2 now on the incident, then no incident is placed. That's great. Also, for this nighttime disturbance, if I get another leaf shield, or if I wanted to, I could actually get credit for this right now. 1 leaf shield and spend the treasure that I got would be 1 of 3 successes. I don't have to make that decision right now. Let's go ahead and hold on and see if I can get these 2 more difficult ones. So because I got the free movement into the fort, I'm going to use my last action to move out here, help this out, clear a bunch of this, provide extra rolls, get that second shield. All sorts of goodness is possible. But first, let's see if I get an incident or a problem. I got a incident. The incident is Shooting Star. That could be good. What am I talking about? It's probably completely and utterly terrible. Lands in number 3. No! It's right there. I was working on that. Good thing I have another hero over there to work on this incident pile. All right, so Selena is going to try to redeem herself from that terribleness from last turn. That is very good. So 2 pure successes, did not have to spend any health. Able to clear out the bugbear plan. That's 2 successes. If I'd only got 1 success, that would have carried over, but I don't have to worry about that. And this just gets discarded. No reward whatsoever. Let's go ahead and see what that Shooting Star is all about. A meteorite touchdown here. The earth belches thick smoke with an acrid smell. This game likes acrid stuff. You belatedly realize it is a demon who had something of a breakdown on his journey through the heavens. Ooh, I get to fight again. That is great. Although, from those bugbears, I should not be so confident. Let's see what I get. All right, I get a success and a heart success. Let's go ahead and re-roll a profession die. See if I can get a success without having to spend a heart. I do not. And so I'm not exactly clear when the player gets to decide when they want to use their successes or not. So I've already rolled. I already got a success. That's whatever. So let's just say I do it and I get 2 successes. You defeat the evil creature, taking its horns, 2 horns as trophies. I get 2 gold. So I would have done it anyway because, getting 2 successes tends to be really good. Had I gotten 1 success, it would have been a fight for my life. The creature would have disappeared, and I would have gotten nothing. So a health well spent. So we get 2 treasure. We'll see if I use that towards the assignment. I don't know how the rest of my game is going to go, but at least I have options. The adversary board is going to stay right where it is. Uh-oh, that might not be great at all. Where does a gesticulating arm go? Watch this be another wander roll. If I roll another 3, I just might flip the table. That is not a 3. That is a 1. Haven't gone to 1 area yet, so that card is going to get added to here. Now there are 4 cards, and my plan to kind of focus has been totally foiled. I might have to pay attention to this. As a reminder, if the turn goes around and I get to the incident phase again, this would hit my prestige. So losing prestige to the bottom would be a lose condition, so I might have to prioritize that. We'll see. But for now, I'm following through my plan. Berenice is going to encounter the fortune teller's haunt. Hopefully it's fake like that other one was. The fortune teller is in a good mood, is willing to tell you about your future. If you have a little something for him in exchange. Do I give him a wild resource or do I turn down the offer? So this iron is actually doing me too much good. You can't build anything with 1 iron at all. And I don't know if I'm going to set myself up to build the good thing again. Let's go ahead and give him the iron. Why not? Ooh, that's why not. If I had turned down the offer, he would have taken all my bread. Instead, the mystical smoke speaks, and for once the auspices are rather clear. Turn over the next event and problem cards face up on the sideboard. So the problem card is such. Oh. It tells me I can't do anything about this. So I don't know what is the point of showing me that this is going to be terrible. Anyway, maybe the event will be something that I can prepare for. Espionage. If my prestige is 6 or more, lose stuff. So I guess that is a good heads up. Do not bump up my prestige as long as this event is in the offing. So now that was Berenice's first action. Cannot repeat the action, I want to. Oh well, but instead I'm going to take a leaf and put that in my fort. Let us see where this garbage terribleness goes. It's going to go, I'm going to trigger it. And it is going to go to station number 5, which is, I don't know if it would go there. Reading the specific card above ground, it says the action is no longer available for the end of the game. It does not say that I cannot put problems there. It would say that. You would think that I couldn't put a problem on an X. You know something? I am going to go with the, because the game has been boning me on this wander thing, let's go ahead and bone the game right back. Boom, I wasn't going to go there anyway, problem. So let's go ahead and clear this out, a religious rite, and claim my shield. A group of cloaked individuals has gathered in a clearing. They chant a strange litany under a troubling full moon. Selena has the Preserver class, which has the book icon. I have a book icon in my keep and also from a tile. So I am rolling 3 dice for this one. Heck yeah. Boom. Let's see if I needed multiple successes. I do not. It was binary. You realize they are peaceful worshippers of the Earth Titan performing a harmless ritual. You leave them to their faith and continue on your way. Had I interrupted their festival and just wreck stuff, it's kind of like walking into somebody's D&D group and just wiping them out. So that would not have been good. That's fine. Go on about your silly Earth Titan ritual. And so that does let me place, here we go, my second shield. And I will give myself credit for that. So I cannot double dip. I would need more shields in order to get credit for these last 2 goals. So I don't mind if I get the event triggered right now. Hopefully I don't roll the double arrow. I did not. The event triggers. I did not have 6 or more prestige, so nothing happens. Fantastic. And oh, by the way, I forgot to note last turn, Selena had a second action. She's going to have used that heal and gotten a bit of bread. Now that we're back in turn order, Berenice goes. Not much that she can do in terms of she wants to move twice. It's not going to happen. So she's just going to get another resource, give that to the next fortune teller. She's going to move into the fortress and then use her bonus action build with one of the leaves. Since we know that we are going to focus on there a little bit, let's go ahead and put a tower there and get that set up just in case I clear out all the incidences. All right, let's see if I get another event or move on to the Chronicle. Move on to the Chronicle. So I'm not doing terribly. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 turns left to get through this. Actually, no, I do not have 6 turns left. Some of these cards are going to discard. And so it's like, kind of pathing a little bit. So I might have a lot less than 6. And I haven't played this before. So this particular scenario, so I don't know what's going on. Let's see what happens in the next page. To ensure the satrapy's safety, you must start by securing the fortress. But how will you get rid of all the ghouls once and for all? Set fire to the catacombs, block them off, move away? So just what I was saying. So if I have a 1, 2, or 3 checks, depends on what happens. I happen to have 2. You don't have all the pieces of the puzzle, but you must take immediate action. You plan an operation to bury the necrophages by sealing off the entrance and the tunnels. And so how that works is you look at the letters A, B, and C. So the game is telling me that I need to discard A and C. I got B and another card. That means I only have probably have 1 or at the most 2 rounds left. We'll see what happens. So I don't feel like losing any prestige. So I'm going to spend 2 bread on a bonus action to move. Let's do a regular action to move and deal with this gesticulating arm, which takes out the marker. The village you are passing through is famous for having a wall with a gesticulating human arm sticking out of it. The locals pay no attention to it anymore, but you notice large cracks in the masonry. Do I want to repair the wall or remove the arm? I'm geared for battle, baby. We're going to remove that arm. Let's go ahead and cut that arm at the stump, baby. We got 1 success. I get to re-roll a die because I'm at full health. Ah, yes. Second success in the bank. Those tend to be multiple success areas. So I did get 2 successes. I pull out the rest of the zombie and cut it into pieces. And the crowd cheers. Yay! Anybody in the land can help out. Calling the community is use one of the spaces on the outer board. So the game is telling me that the scenario is going to involve collapsing tunnels, building tunnels. So I'm going to go ahead and get a fire, which will allow me to complete the workshop. So fortify that particular role. I don't know if that is actually the case. As you can see, the game kind of turns left on me frequently, which I do not love whatsoever. But you just make the best guesses that you can. So let's see what happens. I have a feeling this is the last round of the game, so I really hope that the game doesn't speed me through. The game did not speed me through. Let's see where the second gesticulating arm sticks out. Hopefully not in too inconvenient a place. That is 8. So how many cards do I have over here? That is 3. But I'm not worried about that anymore. So I think I'm protected, or at least I can absorb a blow, a prestige blow. So that's not going to get dealt with at all. So Berenice is going to do her job. She's going to use that fire that I acquired and put up a workshop with her bonus action, which gets her an extra symbol. So I'd be rolling 3 dice if it was her, 2 dice if it was Selena. We're going to head up to that area and see if we can make our way through that pile. I might not, but I'm going to give it my best shot. An abandoned coffin. A coffin lies in the middle of the road. It's in good condition and closed. Probably fell from a cart. There's not a living soul within earshot. What do? Do I bury the coffin, open the coffin, or leave the coffin right there? Some good stuff happened when I just left the thing last time, so let's just leave it and see what happens. You decide that you have more important things to do and leave the coffin to someone else more qualified than you. Gain 1 action. That is the action symbol. That's good news. So it does not specify bonus action, which is pretty sad face, because otherwise I would do another incident. So instead, I'm going to try to clear out this problem. Once again, I am rolling 3 for the combat. I get 1. I'll take 1 since she doesn't have the snazzy reroll. Berenice does not. So that's 1 progress towards that. Not bad. So the game is ticking down, down, down. I have a feeling this is going to be my last round. Actually, I checked the cards. It is the last round just because of the way the distribution is. So let's see if the game gives me a break. It does, kind of. It just gives me a problem. Problems usually aren't that bad. So the community is growing. The villages need help constructing a communal building. These tend to be much more of a problem in the longer game. So I'm not going to worry about this one. That's 5. Then would slide over to the highest number up. So that's going to be 6. You're definitely not getting done. First of all, because I'm here, let's go ahead and clear out the problem there, or try to. Lots of rolls. That takes care of that. Selena doesn't have to use her reroll. And I just clear it. Nothing happens. So that's fine. If the timing works out, then there are 2 incident cards left. 2 timing turns if I roll the regular thing. So let's go ahead and take care of a disturbing silence and pray I don't roll doubles on the next roll. This small clearing exudes peace and calm. You frighten a pair of squirrels as your eyes settle on the rune-carved stone that stands in the center of the clearing. You trace the grooves of the mystical inscription with your finger, wondering as to their meaning. This is Selena. This is 3 dice, so that should not be a problem. Never mind. Let's see what she gets. That's also terrible. Oh, good Lord. And I don't think I can know. I think I have to declare before I look at the rewards. I don't know. The thing mentioned squirrels. How bad could it be? I'm going to take failure. I have no idea if that's the right move or not, but it's squirrels, for crying out loud. How bad could it be? Failure. You bask in a supernatural calm for a few minutes before continuing your journey. Duty comes first. Nothing. If I had gotten a success, I would have gotten a bonus action. Man! That's what happens when I do not take extra risks. All right, so this one's big. It is highly possible that I could just trigger the Chronicle and the Endgame. I do not. I trigger 1 more event. See what I get. Stone-splitting chill. Not even the elders remember having experienced such low temperatures. If the tavern has not been built, lose a fortification. What does the tavern have to do with chilliness? Because that's the only place where I can place a fire. How about the forge? I have the forge, don't I? Here it is. Here's the forge. It's right here. It's enough to keep this place warm. Oh well. Lose a fortification. And I was able to stick it out and get my last shield there, which is really instrumental. So let us see if this puts more incident cards out there. Could. An old wizard. The disheveled and dirty old man has a disturbing appearance, marked by madness, no doubt due to his unreasonable use of witchcraft. Do I avoid the oddball or offer him the hospitality of the fortress? That sounds like a terrible idea. The wizard continues on his way, cursing you under your breath. Lose a prestige. What else happens? Had I offered him hospitality, I would have gone straight to the fortress. He would have started a fire and damaged the building. So it's just terrible all around, but I could absorb a prestige loss a lot better. So that is not too bad. So I get the shield on there. I have a tower, so I am able to get rid of 1 of my treasures and place a progress token right there. I have 2 of 3. I don't think I've ever played a game. I played this a couple of times where I got all 3. I think that's something for the long game, which I mostly play short games, not long ones. So go ahead, long game fans, get all 3. And it is highly possible that I'm going to trigger the end of the game. I do. Let's get right there. We're going to turn over card B. With the help of your engineer, you make plans for the operation. You will lure the necrophages into an unstable tunnel and cause a collapse that will bury them. A ranger of your choice must determine the best path to collapse tunnels. Yeah, right. That's not happening. Another ranger of your choice must lead the tunneling work. That is happening. Wow, that actually worked out. This is the first time in the entire game that worked out. So I add up the successes of both tests. Oh, wait a minute. 1 has to do each. Never mind. Okay. So I have to success both tests, and I earn an additional success for each achievement that I got. So that's why I focus on that. Most of the end game cards do that. So if I want a major success, I need 5 or more. I have the 2 in the bank, so I need 3 or more across 2 different rolls. So Selena is clearly doing that one roll. Otherwise, that would be an automatic failure with Berenice. For the Wander roll, she gets nothing. She gets a re-roll. She gets nothing. Whatever. I have a bread. We're going to spend it. Let's see what I roll. A heart. It's at the end of the game. So I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice that 1 heart for 1 success. So here is the builder roll by Berenice. She has her builder. I have a workshop, and I also have 1 from the fort. So that is 3 dice. So I have to get 2 successes in order to get a major victory. That's not bad, is it? Yes! Good thing I built that workshop. Yep, that was the game. Major victory, minor victory. You don't have to worry about minor. It's not like a campaign where you kind of like move forward. It's just, different text that you read. So major victory. You have weathered a storm with great aplomb. There's no sign of the ghouls anywhere, and they did not cause civilian casualties. What's more, the communities are impressed by your crisis management skills. Congratulations. So there was those 2 victory conditions and also a defeat condition, which I'm not going to read. That sounds terrible. So that is a complete game of Oltree, the short game, the longer game. It's a couple of more pages. The game itself doesn't really change. Depends on the scenario. But it'll, kind of give you different wrinkles, but for the most part, it's mostly of what you saw, dealing with the incidents, you're draining those piles, getting enough to build up enough of the fortress to cover you, etc. Hope you enjoyed that playthrough, and I hope that you got enough information to see if this is worth your gaming dollar and your gaming time. This is Jason with the One Stop Co-op Shop, reminding you that we'll see you at the next stop.